Chris never would have expected to run into another target in a place like this. While she's currently working on a different, larger case, she has also been investigating a string of disappearances. Lily is an elf, but Xenos is human. That means they are not family. So, she has finally found him. He used a clever trick, setting up shop in a desolate area where no one would think to look. Lily tries to explain that Chris has it all wrong. Xenos actually took her in. He saved her. Chris is shocked. Did she jump to conclusions? Lily tells her she absolutely did. Chris apologizes. What she shot him with was a non-lethal round meant for subduing suspects. It shouldn't be fatal, but he won't be waking up for a while. She's a perfectionist when it comes to her work, but her short temper is her one real flaw. But then when the smoke clears, Xenos is standing there, completely unharmed. Chris is stunned. Still, the first thing she does is offer a sincere apology. She is relieved he's alright, but how? Xenos calmly explains that he just used some defensive magic. But Chris finds that hard to believe. Defensive magic shouldn't be capable of stopping her magic bullets. Xenos says that, as far as he knows, it was just regular defensive magic. Chris cannot believe it, but he is clearly unharmed. How is that even possible? Chris keeps thinking, could he be some renowned grand sorcerer? Someone who devoted himself to defensive magic from a young age and mastered the art entirely. He denies it, but she isn't convinced. She says it's the only explanation that makes sense. Others might be fooled, but not the eyes of Vice Commander Chris of the Royal Order of Knights. In any case, she says she would appreciate it if he would cooperate with her investigation. She actually came to the slums on a secret mission. Her objective is to locate a certain individual and take them into custody. Xenos wonders if she should really be sharing something like that. She replies that she doubts she can gain his cooperation without offering at least some specifics. But he never said anything about cooperating. She doesn't understand why he would refuse. After all, it's the duty of every citizen to cooperate with the Order of Knights. So who exactly is she looking for? She explains, the mediator. The person who put an end to the feud between the slum factions. As someone responsible for maintaining order, she cannot overlook the emergence of someone with that kind of influence. But she couldn't get anything out of the demi-humans, even after interrogating them. Xenos tries to reason with her. Maybe this person just wants to avoid the spotlight. Leaving them alone might be the best approach. But she doesn't back down. Anyone capable of uniting rival factions in the slums could become a threat to the nation itself, given time. In the end, both Lily and Xenos claim they don't know who the mediator is. Chris isn't too bothered. She expected it would be difficult just to find a trail. Xenos, however, wants her gone. He says he will walk her back to town. She does have an important mission after all. She admits he has a point, but then notices the bed in his living room. He quickly explains it's a spare bed he pulled out because he planned to throw it away. But Chris says she would actually appreciate being allowed to use it. She's had trouble finding a good base of operations. His place puts her close to the slums without drawing attention. It's ideal for her investigation. And of course she will pay for her stay. Later, after Lily has gone to sleep, Chris asks Xenos if he's a master mage who has perfected defensive magic. But he denies it. Then she asks, if someone were to master healing magic the same way he has mastered defense, would they be able to fully regenerate an arm? But she answers her own question. Such a feat would be impossible for anyone but a saint or a handful of the most elite top-secret healers. The thing is, during her fight with Sophia, she inflicted significant damage to her arm. Yet, when she saw her again in the slums, her arms were completely restored. If someone is capable of healing injuries like that, then their words might carry real weight. She decides to begin her investigation in earnest the next day. That's when Xenos asks her what it is that makes her feel so threatened by the slums. Chris explains that her mother was killed by someone who lived there. Her mother had been a deeply kind woman who visited the slums daily to feed the hungry. Then one day she came back in a coffin. Chris was told it had been a robbery. Someone had killed her to steal her wedding ring. Despite having saved so many from starvation, no one was there to save her. That's why Chris resolved to become an invincible hero. someone who could bring justice to the criminals of the slums so that no one else would have to suffer what she did. She rose quickly through the ranks and became the youngest vice commander in the history of the Royal Knights. The next day, after Chris has left, Xenos receives Sophia for treatment. But then Chris returns and sees her there. Naturally, Chris immediately asks Sophia about the person who healed her arm, the mediator. But instead of answering directly, Sophia brings up a different issue. She has heard the Royal Knights are investigating an illegal trade. But did Chris know that the one behind it is actually an aristocrat? Chris pushes back, saying the trade is based in the slums. But Sophia argues that is just where the foot soldiers operate to throw off suspicion. The real mastermind is higher up. Chris finds that hard to believe. Who exactly is Sophia accusing? Sophia calmly replies, Calendar. Chris is stunned. That's absurd. Calendar is known as a philanthropist, someone deeply committed to educating orphans. Sophia says the reason Chris is so easy to deceive is because she only looks at the surface. The mediator isn't like that. He never judged anyone by their status or appearance. All he ever did was save the people who needed help. He would probably save Chris too, if she were ever hurt. He's nothing like her, so convinced that all evil comes from the slums. Her idea of justice is a joke. That's when Zeno steps in front of Sophia to protect her and reveals that he is, in fact, the mediator. But to Chris, that's inconceivable. The mediator is said to be a master of healing magic, but Zeno's specialty is defensive magic. It should be impossible to master two different schools of magic at such a high level. But one thing is clear to her now. Xenos has sided with the demi-humans and with the mediator. So she decides to find another base of operations. Even so, she gives Sophia the benefit of the doubt and visits Calendar's mansion. She tells him that the Royal Order intends to increase local security and, as part of that effort, she would like to perform a security inspection of his mansion. She doesn't find much at first, but something about the number and placement of guards seems suspicious. Following her instinct, she investigates a well on the property, and inside she finds them, all the missing children. But then she's shot in the back by Calendar. It's a lethal wound, but just in time Xenos arrives. The bullets don't harm him at all. He takes the gun from Calendar and shoots him, non-lethally. Then he heals Chris, regenerating her severed arm and the portion of her torso that had been blown away. Afterward, she says she was never truly a hero. She now understands that a real hero is someone like him. But Xenos tells her that there's no such thing as a perfect hero. People who fight for something they believe in are bound to get hurt. That's why healers like him exist. She was the first one to take action in this matter. That makes her the hero this time.